Hello and welcome to Task 313. I can use decimals to find various percents of numbers. I am Miss Armgart. Let's get started. So before we do anything, what does percent even mean? So when you see words like that, you can break them down into their meaning. So per means out of. So we saw miles per gallon in Enter the Dragon. So now we have out of and cent, like pennies are 1 cent out of 100. A century is 100 years. Cent it just means 100. So when we're talking about percent, we're talking about things out of 100. So place value is going to be really important for this video. So when we talk about place value, when we talk about percent, we're talking about some number out of 100. So let's look at our examples. First, we are going to take 35%. We are going to turn that into a decimal. So we know that 35% is 35 out of 100. Now, you can absolutely punch that into a calculator. It will give you the number 0.35. We can also know that this is the same as the place value of the 1 over 100 here and the 1/10 here. So in the tenths place is the 3, the hundredths is 5, 30.35. Again, you can do long division or a calculator to verify, but 35% is the same as 0.35. Now, what happens if we want to do 1.2? So we want to take a number and turn it into a percent. We know that this is 12 over 10 because we have the 2 in the tenths place here. So that means after the decimal. So if we multiply by 10, we're going to get 12 over 10. Now, that is still not a percent. So we know percents are some number over 100. So what we need to do is we need to get this number over 100. So we need to multiply it by 10 again to get 120 over 100 or 120%. So the other way I like to think of this, folks, is if you have your 1.2, you know that your power of 10 is going to be times 10 to the second will give you 120. So if I do 1.2 and I move the decimal 2 places, that would give me 120%. So you can either do the multiplication like I've shown here, where you know that that means it goes over 100, or you can just move your decimal. Whatever works for you folks. All right, so you'll see the rules are right here for percent to decimal, decimal to percent. So now let's move on and let's use this and look at our problems. So we have here 15% of 40 is what number? So when you see something like this, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go, if it says of, that means multiplication. Is our equal signs. What is it? What's the answer? That's our equal sign. You can just bring that 40 straight down, and we know that 15 means 15 over 100, or that's kind of unwieldy. We're going to turn it into a decimal of 0.15 times 40. Now, you can absolutely punch that into your calculator. You can also do your 40 times 15, and that will give you 600. You add that decimal back, the answer is 6. So let's do one more to make sure that we understand this. So let's look at 35% of 20. Remember, the of means multiply, is means the equal, 20 is the same. We got to turn 35 from a percent to a decimal, so we're going to do 1, 2, 0.35. And again, you're going to do 35 times 20, and that will give you 700. We got to move that decimal back 1, 2. The answer is 7. So any way that you are doing this, punching it into the calculator, you are using the percents to figure out a number. So now make sure that you finish this example, and happy mathing.